Oh, Nehawu is accusing the CEO of the Construction, Education and Training Authority of deliberately destabilizing the institution. It's quite an accusation. The union is calling on Higher Education Minister Blade Nzimande to now intervene. Let's find out where we are on this particular story. Zola Saphetha joining us this morning from Nehawu. Zola, good morning to you. It's quite an accusation to make. Just give me the background. How did you reach this conclusion?
Good morning to you, Gareth. Yes, indeed. It is a serious allegation that we are raising, not because we are thumb-sucking it, but because we, at our disposal, have evidence to demonstrate in that regard. Yes, indeed, we did correspond to the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, whom we were told that upon arriving from US, he would then create space for us to have discussions on the list of issues and concerns that we have raised, about 15 of them, which arises from administration and poor governance.
Yes, but this goes all the way back to 2001, where this accusation is the witnessing of maladministration and instability. It's been a very long time since these accusations came out. Why do you imagine something's going to be different this time around?
You will remember that there was an administration put through a government gazette published on the 3rd February 2020. Upon the completion of that work, there was a clear mandate that needed to be done by that administrator, but also by the newly appointed CEO, arising from matters of governance and also particularly on issues of a pension fund, a saga that have been there, and also clean governance arising on the basis of the experience of the previous one. So we are still there, but also hoping that because the current CEO had told us that the investigation report in relation to the pension fund has been submitted 2 years ago with the minister, and the minister is still sitting on that report. So we want also to ask the minister on what basis would he sit on the report instead of actioning the recommendations that would have been made there, but also ensure that the minister pays attention to governance and administrative issues of these CETAs, because they are critical to the development of our capacity and our ability as a public service, but also as a country to improve our skills.
Zola, we spoke very briefly about the accusations and the allegations in this, but help me understand, why would the CEO of the Construction, Education and Training Authority deliberately try and destabilize the organization? Why would somebody be doing that? What would the end game be?
Certainly, this is what really we want to get into to it, because I'm a living example myself. In January, I went to attend a meeting which the institution, particularly the CEO, was informed about, between myself as a General Secretary of Nehawu, with a branch executive committee culminating to members. Unfortunately, upon arriving at that meeting, I was denied access. Having arrived in the institution to meet my BEC and members, and I don't know what is this big thing that the CEO is worried about that might discover, but I had to leave the meeting because he could not access. He could not give me access in relation to that. We want really to get into this thing of wanting to know, because you'll remember that in this CETAs, there's a lot of money in the hands of people, so I won't know what is this ulterior motive, but we do think that through the engagement with the minister, we'll establish that.
Obviously, right now it's accusations and allegations, but help me understand as well before I say goodbye to you. What would this mean for those who are getting training in the Construction and Education and Training Authority? What sort of knock-on effect does this have for those who rely on this kind of certification, qualification and education? Take me down to the ground level.
The truth of the matter, those are the people who are suffering. In fact, the general practice in this institution is to give money more to consultants and less on the delivery of a skill provision into our people. That's why our skills are not improving. So those are the most affected one, because people are amassing these resources for themselves using these consultants, which is the case also in the construction sector, because a lot of money is spent more on consultants, yet the skills to do the work is there already because there are employees to deliver that. But because people are using that as a strategy to make big bucks for themselves.
And perhaps I will leave this as my final question to you, Zola, as well, mentioning that the Higher Education Minister, Blade Nzimande, to intervene, but it's been a long time that they've had that report. Why do you think it's taking so long? Is this an overly complicated process, or do you think the Higher Education Minister is just not doing his job?
We don't think that is a highly complicated process because you can't institute an investigation upon receiving a report, you are not acting, but we don't want to preempt. That's why we want to meet him and get the reasons behind the delay. But of course, we're not going to wait for him, actually, to be responding and so forth, because currently, as I'm speaking to you, we are meeting with our members to consolidate the program. If it delays, you will meet us on the street. That's the attitude and the posture that we will be having from now moving forward.
So just so I understand you correctly, this could end up in strike action. Is that what you're saying?
Certainly. That's where we're going. We have given him a period of 7 days to meet with us, not to respond, but to meet with us. And if he does, unfortunately, he will find us on the street, in the street.
Well, there you have it. So as far as what the demands are for the Higher Education Minister, Blade Nzimande, to meet with Nehawu, the accusation is of the CEO of the Construction, Education and Training Authority is deliberately destabilizing the institution. My thanks to Zola Saphetha, General Secretary of the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union. You'll know it, of course, as Nehawu.